Hi, this is Adam, and today we're going to be talking about the time value of money. Now, you may be asking, Adam, what does the time value of money mean? Does money change value over time? And to that, I answer you, yes. We're going to talk about that. Some terms you'll hear throughout this you might be already familiar with are interest rates, interest ratio. Um, so, with this, we're just going to go and dive into some of the details on how we can make better, sound financial decisions regarding the time value of money and its applicability. Part of the reason we're looking at this is we're looking at, for an example, at maybe the cost benefit analysis of maybe competing projects and to see which one of those projects is going to make us more money for our business in the long term. So, with that, I'm going to throw a couple definitions your way and we'll keep on moving. All right, first in the chute is the definition of time value of money. Now, what this is the difference in value of money received today and money received in the future. So again, say someone gives you the opportunity to have $10,000 today with the potential to earn 10% on that, or you can go and get $10,000 next year. Where this could be tricky is you might think of with inflation and maybe more, but what we're talking about here is essentially including the interest rate that you would get with that 10%. So again, if we're given $10,000 today, and say the potential is to earn 10%, excuse me, by next year, it'll be $11,000. So again, 1%, or excuse me, 10% of $10,000 equals $1,000. So by next year, we have $11,000. Or we could get $10,000 next year, and that doesn't make any sense. So as you can see, it's pretty simple. We want that money now. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about the time value of money. All right, moving forward, we have interest rate. So that's the rate at which money can be loaned or borrowed over a given period of time. Now, I don't know anybody who's not familiar with interest rate that's under or that's over the age of probably 15. So again, if you're loaning or borrowing money to or from someone, usually there's an interest rate tagged along with that. So that's a fee for the convenience, a fee to make money on the loan. So again, that can be an infinite number of percentages, but that's what we're talking about when we say the interest rate. All right, next is the interest rate factor. Not to be confused with the interest rate, but also kind of ties into it. So the interest rate factor is the rate of exchange between dollars today and dollars in the future, and is 1 plus the interest rate. So for an example, if the interest rate is 5%, the interest rate factor is 1.05. Pretty easy concept. Whatever that interest rate is, just add a solid 1 to it, and then whatever that interest rate is. So here we have 5%, say it was 25%, that'd be 1.25. That's what the interest rate factor would be. Pretty easy stuff. All right, we're talking about present value, and that's the value of a benefit or cost computed in terms of cash today. Now, with in the next couple of slides coming up, we'll see the future value, discount rate, etc. So the present value is that's what it's worth right now in terms of cash today. Not 2 years from now, not 2 years ago. It is as of today's standards. That's what it is. All right, good. So future value, what we're talking about next, that's the value today of a cash flow that is moved forward in time. Pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory, but has to be included here when we're talking about it. All right, now discount factor. So we're going to kind of do some time traveling right now, much like the background of this slideshow. So discount factor is the value today of a dollar received in the future. So imagine this is 5 years from now, and we're working our numbers. The discount factor will bring into play what that dollar is worth as of today's date, a couple of years from now, if that makes any sense. We're just backing up the timeline a little bit to give ourselves a better idea of what that value is, or that dollar is worth today in a future period of time. All right, now a discount value, definition reads the appropriate rate to discount a cash flow to determine its value at an earlier time. So if we're trying to figure out what something is worth 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15, whatever the case may be, the discount value is that appropriate rate to get us that number that we're trying to be at. All right, so how does this apply to us from entry level to mid level to executive level positions? There's a few words. We're throwing out cost benefit analysis, valuation principle, competitive market, law of one price, and those are important. We'll talk about those here in just a second. But right from the book, this is a perfect answer in my eyes. The purpose of learning how to value streams of cash flows is to make sound investment decisions. As marketers, as executives within a business, it's our duty to go and make sound financial decisions. Moving on in that, what the book says, it says to perform a cost-benefit analysis of competing projects, the streams of cash flows have to be converted into the same units by moving them to the same point at the same time. And what that means is we can't go and have different time frames and references when we're valuing and having valuation of basically our analysis of competing projects. We have to put them in the same timeline. So much like anything in an entry-level position, you need to know that this stuff exists just for your situational awareness, and you can understand what your mid and executive level bosses are thinking when they're making their financial decisions. Kind of tying the mid-level and executive level positions together, you need to have a better understanding of what's happening, so that way, again, you're spending your stakeholders' dollars and your returns from other assets in the right directions. When you're giving investments or excuse me, when you're giving loans or receiving loans, it's probably a good idea to know how that money moves. And again, like we talked about earlier, if you have projects you're thinking about doing, you need to know how to go and follow those throughout their tentative timelines to see which one is going to make more sense for you as a business. Ethics, as always, is really important, especially when we're doing anything with finances. How this applies to us as far as valuation. If we're having projects that we're thinking about starting, we're really doing the timeline to see which is going to make us more money, we need to be ethically sound and financially sound. So by using some of these techniques and tools, we're going to get a better picture of what's going to be best for the stakeholders within the company. Also for the investors, for the clients, for the products, for the longevity of the company, we need to make sure that we're doing things the proper way to make the most out of our business. Again, thanks for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next time.